Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back with another live stream of Hearthstone. Today is October 20th that I'm streaming on, and we're going through the Friday stream, which has a tendency to be the longest one because we've got to get everything done. It also kind of has a tendency to be the suckiest one because there's nobody really online. I shouldn't trade out any of these 60. It's a bad move. But in an effort to save time, I'm either going to need to do 5 extra victories with the Paladin or Priest or trade this out. These two overlap for 5 wins for the Mage, which is still a lot. This is 3 games with the Warrior and I'll take it. Up. One on America's server. We've got a lot of news still. Let's see if anybody will be online. Get a mage victory on. And I don't really have a reason why I would want to do Tavern Brawl. As for the arena run, we have now done all of our arena runs and we're ready for moving forward. So we could do this mage, or this mage, or do I have a steam? The secrets and spell cards and battle cries element. Go with this one. Also having a little bit of a laid back stream. Started late, well, not late, and I'm gonna end up going late. I've stayed up all previous night recording a game called Abduction, which is the reason why the audio probably sounds odd and louder. I'm still looking for feedback on that. It's gonna sound that way until I can finish playing Abduction. Might take a week or two. Pretty long game. And I am recording all my episodes now at like 30-minute runs. So it's like a 30-hour game that I'm doing 30 minutes on, and so it may end up going into 2 months even if I double up the episodes. Which is alright. Like, I wanted to go further ahead. I wanted to kind of stretch out things. So, like, making less content because I'm streaming for that. As an issue.
Ash to ash. The real stink.
There's a turn-based roguelike game called Deep Sky Derelicts. It's supposed to be like Darkest Dungeon in space. I own Darkest Dungeon. One of these days I'll get around to actually playing it. It's yet another very long game. What's interesting about this game, as far as I saw it, is at least the cutscenes seem to be built around the idea of making it look like a comic book. Like, there's full comic book panels. The attacks are in their own squares. You have a lot of like futuristic marauders, space pirates, kind of. Giant space slug. Man, he's doing a lot. Okay, so Deep Sky Derelicts comes out March 2018. No price announced yet. It'll remain in early access. Right now, it's already in early access. Apparently, well, it's in early access next month. I haven't do more damage. could do this
I'm warning you. I'm unstable.
and this. This. That is an awkward way to kill that character, which... Alright.
I will not be trifled with.
So, I suppose how much depth and how much combination, how much...
I should meet you.
What? Dead or alive? Cast a spell.
how much variety in the gameplay is going to be the real question. Any game like Darkest Dungeon is going to live or die based on whether or not it is a long-term commitment, as far as can it be played for a long time, or is it just gonna burn out and be boring after 15 minutes. Another point-and-click adventure game from the Adventure Games website, which I think they write like one review of one point-and-click adventure every week, called The Inner World, The Last Wind Monk. And we get any real details about where it is or where you can... Nope. I'm gonna have to stop following this. They don't point you towards the game. Or...
Brothers, heed my call.
Draw. Spells are fun. So fun.
Job's done.
12 minions is for the highest attack character. Interesting. Battle cries triggered twice. There's an article about Capcom Puzzle Fighter, which is, I believe, a cell phone game, and of really no reason to even talk about it. Probably more advertisement than actual article. Go forward. We have no duplicates, so we've got the full Reno Jackson set up. This, that.
Job's done.
Let's see, this article's how is System Shock reboot changing System Shock? As somebody who hasn't played the original System Shock but seen people play it, it's really old, so a lot of changes need to be made. It needs to be effectively a full reboot, not even like a soft reboot. It needs to just be the same game over and over again. I'm seeing concept art of a half robot, half human creature. Iron Shield.
Who knows what secrets
Job's done.
Yeah, of course the enemies will look better, the areas will look better. There's still a lot of concern in my mind, though, because System Shock Reboot is a weird game because they've already remastered the original as best they could, and now they have to start over, do a Kickstarter to which has been funded well over $1 million already, but work.
rejects the Lich King.
Just,
Job's done.
can't play anything else. There's a real desire in the fan base and the video game community for System Shock, the reboot, to be good, to be the next Doom reboot, which puts it in the exact opposite position as the Doom reboot. Nobody for a second really saw Doom coming back. They figured Doom has been done. There's no real way to fix that or to improve it in any major way. And so it was a pleasant surprise when that happened. We played that.
For the scourge.
Because System Shock went through a Kickstarter, everybody's expecting it to be good, but Kickstarter doesn't have a huge success rate. In fact, it has a huge failure rate. So if Night Dive Studios does remake System Shock and it's no good, then we're going to be sorely disappointed. But I guess people will get over it. YouTube Creators is trying to reach outward towards educational channels, if you're gonna make an educational channel. So I don't know if they're gonna actually add any features or extra support there. In a weird way, using copyrighted material for educational use is another exemption of copyright, or at least it used to be, and that's why in the United States at least you may have ended up being able to watch a movie in class at some time, because that would have been a public broadcast and a violation of copyright otherwise. Also, who's really going to sue a school or teacher for violating copyright, except for maybe Microsoft, if this entire school is sharing one license amongst itself for Windows, which I'm sure they have done something like that. But as soon as you go onto YouTube to make an educational channel, you run into so many issues. I can imagine just off the top of your head, like, can you put students' images on your channel, like pictures of your students? No, that would violate their privacy. Can you put copyrighted material on YouTube? Probably not, because YouTube will flag it.
You look very familiar.
So
Job's done.
while you can make your own course stuff, you can't even really quote from books. Say you were making a presentation in PowerPoint or something and you wanted to put that on YouTube for online classes, and let's say you quote, you show a page from a copyrighted school book. The copyrighted school book would probably give you trouble. There's so much extra work you would have to do. Let's see if this can give me what I need. Yes, it can, so we'll just play this.
Be rich.
I concede.
But that's again a YouTube article I'll read and see if they actually are going to do anything. I think the bigger issue clearly is that YouTube wants to get educators and more family-friendly people on their channel. They want to drastically change what YouTube is to the point where nobody's going to want to watch it. Like, think about it for just 5 seconds. If you spent your entire elementary school, middle school, and high school going to YouTube to see presentations and do work, are you going to have a mental image in your mind of YouTube being a fun place, a place you want to go and hang out on? No, you're gonna think it's boring as can be. You're gonna say, I'll never go into this site again. And like, where's the ad revenue there? Like, if you're a student, or if you're a teacher and your students are needing to watch this presentation online, and you need to control their time and not waste their time, you're gonna turn off ads completely. So then YouTube's not getting any ad revenue from that, because you'll turn them off either in your videos or by directly having an ad blocker to block all of YouTube. There's really no money in education, not for YouTube, not that I see. Yeah. But I guess maybe it gets them a little bit of good propaganda to say, look, we've got all these teachers doing all these wonderful things. So this whole deck is full of battle cry cards. As long as I keep playing battle cry cards, I'm gonna end up succeeding really well with this card. Next bit of news I have: Mag Entertainment, Mag Interactive acquires Quiz Duel developers, FEO Media, which I think Mag is the massive action game, cell phone game, and Quiz Duel is another cell phone game. So two cell phone game companies, one acquired the other.
The real stinker.
So fun.
See, that's another one of those Gamma Sutra articles that is just inside Hollywood stuff. Here's another piece of news. I still got a ton of news, but as soon as I run out of news on Fridays, we're going straight to post-show. Nobody's gonna come on the chat on a Friday. But I can't really even change the... Can't change the streaming schedule either. I don't have any other time where it really works. Demon Gaze 2 has a new trailer. I haven't heard of this game. Demon Gaze 2 is a first-person dungeon crawler series with turn-based battle. Who would have guessed? It does look like it might have a card system to it. It's coming to a PlayStation 4 and Vita according to the trailer. And is there any time? It's coming to PlayStation 4 and Vita in North America on November 14th. Opponent's weapon. Bell.
I wonder.
Battle cry.
Spells are fun. So fun.
Job done.
So I suppose the intro's cutscene, it looks just like your standard anime characters, and all the characters that are being shown now look like their standard anime. It does have some story line. Seems like you work with personified demons to increase your attack, so it's kind of like a persona thing. That there's some kind of maintenance mode where you have to maintain your demons. I don't know if that is a physical roping mode, which, man, there was a lot of those Japanese. Here's a interactive 3D picture of a girl there. You can rope them wherever you want. A lot of those came out earlier this year. I haven't seen any lately. I think the fad has stopped. Galgun, of course, was one of the most successful versions of that. An interesting Galgun double piece is coming to the Switch. Turns out, it seems at least, that Nintendo is opening up and being very supportive of adult games. So, like, they've kind of they finally realized they need to get more adults playing their console, and so they're trying to do their best. This was almost a follow-up from a story. Wednesday, we said Brawlhalla, the Smash Brothers clone that's on Steam, had come out of early access. Well, now the developer of Brawlhalla, Blue Mountain Games, is opening a studio in the Netherlands. So the studio is going to open in January 2018 with a core staff of 3, but they wanted to get up to 25 by the end of the year.
Who knows what secrets will that belongs in a museum?
Join me.
So it feels like they probably took their game prematurely out of early access, or they just couldn't do anything more with it. And they've used this to open a new studio, or it could be the other way around. It could have been simply 3 people wanted to quit commuting or move back to the Netherlands or move to the Netherlands, and so they said, instead of us letting you go or having to telecommute, let's just open a studio there. Killed. It's a little weird to open a studio with only 3 people, but whatever. Hearthstone related, because of the Hollow's End celebration, arena runs will end October 23rd. Of course, that's why I did the arena runs, but it means, on top of the obvious, it also means that if you were playing arenas and trying to be ranked because of that, your ranking ends on the 23rd, so you're going to have less of an opportunity to get up in rankings, but that's not really going to hurt too many people. It'll hurt Craperion more than anybody because he had the appendicitis and couldn't play, but everybody else will be on equal footing. They would have had the same amount of time. Here's a PC Gamer article still talking about For Honor, and they were horrible about advertising For Honor. Like, they spent a whole month. But yeah, For Honor is still out there, and they have a Halloween event called the Otherworld event. If anybody is still playing For Honor, which I know nobody is. Deal 2 damage added. I played this, I can do that. Moving on to the next bit of news. Which I'm closing all of these. Some of these are the exact same articles or the exact same announcements on different websites. Here's a different announcement about Demon Gaze 2. It shows a very different picture along with the same video. Let's see.
We're gonna be rich.
Yeah, I don't think there's actually anything new in that article to say. Demon Gaze 2, another one of those Japanese games that'll come over and not very many people. Apparently PlayStation is going to tour the United Kingdom to promote PlayStation VR in the run up to Christmas as an advertisement. There's a whole list on Eurogamer of where you could go, and imagine there'll be a line that lets you they'll let you try PlayStation VR. It's sad to say, but PlayStation VR is still the best VR, and it's not that good. Hey, we got somebody on the chat. I'm surprised. Requiem Reapers says, "Hey, Rydo." Hey, Requiem Reapers. I think you've been on the chat before. That name sounds familiar. How's it going? Next bit of news, we have Dragon Quest Rivals for iOS and Androids launching November 2nd in Japan. I could imagine that this gets translated and comes over to the West for cell phone games. Looks like it's full of microtransactions, which video game companies would love to do. Dragon Quest isn't the most well-known things. Games in the West, but it will certainly. I don't think I'm gonna win this. Certainly could be interesting if they push Dragon Quest internationally. Because I've been in Dracasath on. I'm Dracasath on Battle.net. Interesting. Did I friend somebody? I'm Dracasath? Yeah, here we are. So, if I could just get a couple more bits of damage. Every minute. Sure. Let's see. Next article. It's so hard for me to keep people fans need to realize that it's like so many people have friended me, and so many people talk in the chat, and then the names in YouTube chat versus what they are. In fact, I'm pretty sure somebody I had to block on YouTube chat that I'm still friends with in here, unless they defriended me. And I don't know, I don't have the details written down enough to be certain, so I don't want to unfriend the wrong person.
All realities, all dimensions, melt away.
For the scourge.
This game was, wow, it is rated very positive. There's a game on Steam now called Hide and Shriek. It seems to be a jump scare type game. Rated very positively. And it's free to play, so no real commitment there. The Rec Room Reaper says it didn't fit, so I settled with Dracasath. I didn't know Battle.net had a limit on its length, or that it was that short of a limit. If I can just get this down to 10 before he beats me, I can win. I never go for long names when I try to use Rydo, of course, so that's a 4-letter thing, easy enough to... Why this page wants to skip that page. Destroy a random for each player. What spells come?
I wonder.
Try this.
Like this place.
Job done.
Darn it. That was a risk.
Well played.
He's making fun of me. Well played. I played a game recently called It'll Do, and it was an attempt to be like more like the Game Boy Legend of Zelda games, and it did it all right, but it was really short. But then there were some really difficult puzzles. Let's try this. And so I've really enjoyed it, but also I'm more pumped. I want to buy the sequel, It'll Do 2, and see how they corrected a lot of the... There's a master cave with 12 puzzles, and at least 6 of the 12 puzzles require you to do things that you never really even thought about doing in the rest of the game. There's only 4 dungeons in the entire game except for the master cave. There's only 3 weapon upgrades or item upgrades at all. There's only 4 health upgrades. It's a very small
You asked for it.
indie game, not ambitious enough. But it also is kind of a smart way to do it too. It's got its own style. They put out a small indie version of something, see if people like it, they make a sequel. I think we'll see an It'll Do 3 or 4. It'll, I-T-T-L-E, do D-W, I think. I think it might compete against Zelda equivalent, other Zelda equivalents on PC, particularly since we're never going to see Nintendo games. It's a shame that there isn't something a little bit better. A Hat in Time, I suppose, might be close to Ocarina of Time for PC. That's a brand new game I want to play too. Ever since about a month or 2 ago, they started putting out some really good games that interest me. And it's not like 2017 has been slow about releasing games. It's just that before then they were mostly things that were managing to not particularly grab my attention. Why am I on this page? I don't know why I opened this page. It's just talking about a game I never saw, and how it has it's like true achievements, and it's some player. Moving on. Raccoon Reaper says you should check out a game called Bomber Crew. Alright,
What to do?
let's
What
check
to
out a
do?
game called Bomber Crew. Kind of played. Like BOERCREW into Google. Save 50 on Bomber Crew on Steam. Bomber Crew is a strategic simulation game where you're picking up the right crew and keeping your bomber on top of the ship shape. It's just like a management game. This doesn't look like Zelda at all. I thought you were telling me a Zelda game.
What to do? What to do?
Alright. Well, I checked it out, but there's some things that immediately
Excuse me, you are
make me not want to play this. The cutesy, smooth polygon graphics makes me feel like it might be a little low quality. The fact that it's a management game doesn't really interest me that much. The fact that it's a military game doesn't interest me at all. I actually had a distant relative that that worked on bomber pilot planes in World War II, so I'm somewhat familiar with it. He didn't run the crew or anything, he fixed the plane, so he kind of ran the whole show.
right away. Right away.
But on the other hand, maybe I will put it in my wish list. No, this game does, at the very least, do something different. There aren't going to be too many Bomber Crew style games out there. I'm not sure what time frame this is supposed to be set in, though. Like, the United States Army still has bombers, yes, but I don't think they use them too much.
We have many
And perhaps more accurately, they don't announce that they've used them too much. We're much more into the jet fighter age. Record Reaper says, haha, no, sorry, I have it and it's a good game. Alright, like, when it comes down to flying games, it's like, there's not a ton of choices. So, on your recommendation, I'll put it in my extremely long wish list, and next time there's a Steam summer sale, or I'll consider buying it if it's cheap. I'd rather play something cutesy and a little bit easier to maintain than a full-on flight simulator. At $12.74 though, that's asking a lot. It would require a love of military or bombing or management more than I have. But if they could get it down to $5, $3, something like that on the Steam summer sale, then yeah, I'll put it on the list. So consider that game checked out. I lost my place on my things, but that's alright. Figure it out. Here we are. Its setting is 1942 and you command a British bomber. Were the troops in the British bombers integrated? Because, like, in 1942, I don't know why I'm asking you, you probably don't know, but, like, in the United States Army, they wouldn't have mixed and matched African American troops with the white troops. They put it, and I was noticing that the characters do change that way. And if it's 1942, like, then they might be not completely historically accurate, but fine, whatever. Guess I would have to look that up myself. and that's not video game related. That's just of historical interest. Apparently, according to Forbes, which I do want to put out my own little conspiracy on the Forbes 100 richest people in America list. I think that they very specifically tried very, very hard to push Donald Trump down as far as possible as one of the richest persons, just to insult him. So I would, my conspiracy theory thought is that this 100 richest people in America has got an even bigger asterisk on it than it normally does, which is to say most rich people hide their money and don't let people know they have any money, so it's never been a very accurate thing. But as far as video games related, they're saying Gabe Newell is worth $5.5 billion. So why doesn't he take that $0.5 billion fraction he has and license somebody to make Half-Life 3? Like, seriously, I don't know why he wouldn't just put an end to that and just say, let's hire a company, license them out, say, you're going to make Half-Life 3. You know what he really should do is he should hire Devolver Digital to make Half-Life 3. Say, yeah, it's really happening, and then just have an agreement with Devolver Digital for them to never really finish the product, or finish the product and then have it be canceled at the last second. That way it still doesn't come out as just a joke. Or, you know, hire a real company to make Half-Life 3 and just license the thing and get it done. And then Gabe Newell could work on Half-Life 4 if he really wants to do it. And I think that's inherently the issue, is that there still is some desire of somebody in power at Valve to make Half-Life 3. They just can't get it done. But of course, none of that really has anything to do with this article. If he's worth $5.5 billion, that's good. That tells us it tells us that Valve probably won't go out of business. It's also possible that he may be worth $5.5 billion, but $5 billion of that is through stocks that are valued of Valve. So if he was to get that money, if he wanted that money in cash, he'd have to sell a controlling share of Valve or maybe some other companies. Requiem Reapers, well, they don't speak English. It's like the old radio crackle when they speak. Yeah. So they're kind of like Sims characters. There's and this. Gabe Newell is number 97 on the list of the list of the wealthiest Americans. 3 positions up in the top 3. So there's 96 other people that have more money than him. Like, Trump is number 544th as of March 20th, 2017 on the Forbes millionaire list with a net worth of $4.5 billion. Bill Gates is still number 1 for the 4th year in a row with $86 billion. Thank you for the details, Requiem Reapers. That's a good reference. Personally, I think the United States should cap wealth, and I think Bill Gates would probably agree with that. He just invested in, promised to invest more money into the United States school system. But if we just had 100% tax over $1 billion, like, you could go a long way to funding all of the social programs and paying down the national debt just by saying, look, you're too rich, you're filthy rich, you're criminally filthy stinking rich. We're taking all your money up to $1 billion. You can be a billionaire, but a penny over that and you're done. Like, Requiem Reaper says, hey, you wanted to know, haha. Yeah, that is true, I did ask. Let's see. And we're not getting very far very fast. Well, it's been another 45 minutes. Stay tuned if you're watching live. If you're watching this pre-recorded later, as always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.